Hi everyone, this is Dr. Stephanie Reznick. I'm a board-certified internist and one of the doctors on call available through Oscar. In today's segment on COVID-19, also known as the novel coronavirus, I'm going to be discussing some tips on voting during the pandemic. Many states still have the primaries coming up, and of course, there's the big election in November. Unfortunately, I suspect COVID-19 will still be here at that time. If you'd like to decrease your risk of exposure as much as possible, especially if you're at high risk for complications if you were to catch the virus, I highly recommend voting by mail. Every state has its own sets of rules and deadlines for voting by mail, so if this is something you'd want to consider, I recommend looking up these regulations and deadlines as soon as possible. If you prefer to vote in person, many states have polls open before Election Day. These early voting sites tend to be less crowded, and less crowds means less exposure. If you prefer to vote on Election Day, you can call the polling site ahead of time to see when they expect to be less crowded, or to ask if curbside voting is an option. Of course, if you are ill or supposed to be quarantined due to exposure to COVID-19, it's recommended that you stay home. When voting in person, or really doing anything out in public, don't forget to do the standard precautions. Stay at least 6 feet away from others who are not a part of your household. Wear a mask. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds often, particularly before and after going to the polls. And consider bringing hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Other things to consider bringing include sanitizing wipes, so you can sanitize high-touch surfaces before you utilize them, as well as your own pen. Just think how many people probably touched that pen in the voting booth. If you're going to be a poll worker, make sure to talk to your supervisor, as there are probably new rules and regulations. The CDC website has more recommendations regarding poll workers, including the fact that you should be disinfecting high-touch areas frequently, and that you should not bring others, such as children, to the polls that day. I hope this was helpful for you. Please go out and vote. We need your voice more than ever. If you have any comments, please leave them, and I'll see you next time.